where I want to move today is talking about this navigating wheel, okay? So many people are in a place, not you guys, but other people, are in this place where they are trying to make decisions about their life. But they don't know what decision to make. They're trying to take action, but they're sitting here going, is this the best? Is it not the best? And then, I don't know, you may be familiar with people that they do the old pros, cons list, you know? And if something has more pros, well, then that must be the best thing to do. You know, it's like, well, okay, maybe, maybe not. It's not that that's wrong, but it might not be the best way to move through life with the pros, because what do you do if they're the same? You know, what do you do if there's more pros, but you're really feeling like you shouldn't do it? But all the pros say that I should. Now it's like, And so we are in this turmoil of we know we need to do something, but we don't know what it is. We know we need to make a decision, but we're not for sure what it is. And so there's this tension for a certain season, but because we don't know what the answer is, eventually we just push the tension to the side, go to work, do the things we need to do. It's not getting solved, but you know, we just get distracted and move on. Does that make sense? So the question is, how do we make decisions? And how do we make quick decisions? Without the classic, well, you know, especially in the church world, well, I need to pray about it. It's like, really? Okay. We'll wait longer then while you pray about it and everything. I don't know that we necessarily have to go there. We can make good decisions on a consistent basis. Okay? But we just have to know how to do it. And so this navigating wheel positions us to be able to make good, quick decisions for our life. Okay? Now, it's not necessarily, should I have chocolate milk or regular milk? We're not talking about those types of decisions, okay? This is more those big decisions. Should I date this guy or not? You know, should I take this job or not? Should I move over there or move over here? Should I spend my money over here or should I spend my money over there? Should I spend more time doing this? Should I connect with this group or should I connect with that group? If I go back to school, should I go back to school or not? Should I get this degree or that degree? Okay, kind of those big decisions. So what I'd like to do is take a look. I call this the navigating wheel, and you guys did this exercise. Okay, so let's pull out that navigating wheel, the exercise that you guys did this last week, and each of these statements that you have as you walk around the navigating wheel, they are statements, and the instructions there were for you to, on a scale of 1 to 10, measure yourself on how strongly you agree with that statement for yourself. And so, did anybody find that as you worked around the wheel, you had a bunch of scores that were lower than where you would have liked for them to have been? Raise your hand over here there. Okay? All right. Several of us are there. Hell yeah. It's not that all of them were ones, although they might have been, but they were just lower than we wanted them to be. Okay? How about this? Did you find that in a particular category, there were scores that were lower than other categories? Find that? Okay? What this wheel does for us is it gives us an idea of where things are weak, where blocks are, where anchors are, where blind spots are, that makes it difficult for us to make decisions. Okay, because once again, over here on this side of the wheel, we've got make decisions, take action, and produce results, have production in our life. Oh, man, I don't like things the way they are right now. I want them to change. I want them to change, but I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get to that change and everything. Most people spend all of their life looking over here at the left-hand side. And they get frustrated. They find that they just go around and around and around. I need to do something. I don't know what to do. I need to do something. I don't know what to do. And so they'll go and talk to somebody. Ashley, you go and talk to them. And this person told me I should do this, but I don't know. That doesn't seem right. Or this person told me to do this, and it felt great, so I went and did it, but no, that wasn't it either. Does anybody know what I'm talking about on that? So it's like, how do we get more confident in making these decisions over here for our life. And again, it's a great thing to work with on your kids as well. But what I encourage people to do is fill in the right side of the wheel. If we fill in the right side of the wheel, I have found personally, and I have found with hundreds of people that I've worked with, as we fill in the right side of the wheel, this stuff becomes much more simple. Okay? Not easy, but simple. Meaning, there aren't a whole lot of moving pictures. This is what I need to do. Bam. Now, do I want to do it? Oh, man, I don't know. But this is what I know that I need to do. I know this is a good decision for me, but man, if I do that, then this person's going to do that. This, man, I don't know if I want to do that. Now, that's a whole other thing. Okay? That's where we get into that processing struggle and getting the new perspective. Does that make sense? So, what seems to be missing so often is this right side of the wheel. So taking a look at these different pieces, first of all, this first big piece, which I think is extremely important, is your identification. How you see yourself. When you think of yourself, when you picture yourself, what does that picture look like? Your identity. Does that make sense? So there are a handful of different phrases there. And again, this is not an exhaustive list of phrases. It's just a few to give you an idea of how confident you feel with your identity. How comfortable you are in your skin. Let's see. I remember you guys have heard my story of looking at people that were successful, looking at people that were wealthy, looking at people that had options and freedom in their life. When I looked at myself, I had come to conclusions about myself that that was not available to me. I can do some great things, I can have a great impact, but I will never be able to have resources like those people have resources because of who I am. Does that make sense? I would never be able to do that. I was too small, too little, too weak, didn't have this, didn't have that when I saw myself. And so there were certain things that were not available to me. Now again, somebody could come along and say, you can do all things through Christ. And because I'm a believer, okay, amen. I'd probably even raise my hand on that thing, definitely nod my head, amen, that's true. And I would accept that that was true, and I would agree that that was true. But because I had this picture all wrong, I could never align with that truth. Does that make sense? So, did any of you, I'm not going to ask you to reveal your answers on this, but in this identification piece, did anybody have numbers that were lower than where you would like for them to be in that category? Okay? Okay, all right. So again, and I think I said this last week too, be careful with this, okay? Because we're human and we're Americans, okay? The goal of this is not to make everything 10. Okay? I don't want to set us up. What, you got an 8? Well, I've got to work to get a 9. Okay? This isn't a competition. The goal is not to make 10s everywhere. But the primary goal here is to simply know where I am. If I'm a 3, I'm a 3. I need to know that. Okay? Now, do I want that to increase? Yes. But it's not, I've got to get to a 10. Because I just want to be careful with that. All right? So, if our numbers in this identification with these statements were lower than where we wanted them, then it's possible that there may be some discovery that we need to do about who the heck we are. And not just, well, man, back in high school, I had no question about who I was. I mean, I was rocking it. I was this and I was that. But then I got into my 20s and it's like, that didn't really fit anymore. So who am I in my 20s? I had a long conversation with a gal just earlier this week, and she is in a place in her life right now where she's just gone through divorce. All of her kids have graduated and have moved out of the house. And so all of a sudden she's going, Clay, I don't have any idea who I am right now. I'm now a single parent and an empty nester. So I'm no longer the wife that I identified with so much. I'm no longer the mother that I identified with for so long. Like, I don't know who I am, you know, so the question is, well, where do you want to go? I have no idea, because I don't even know who I am in this season of my life. Does that make sense? So again, what we want to be careful of here is that we don't go, oh yeah, I know who I am, because it just might be I knew who I was back at this point, but who am I now? Who am I as a new mother? Who am I as a newly married? Who am I now in my 20s or early 30s? Fair enough? Okay.